But because we can't always meet those, make those meetings, we want to try and bring everybody together. Because I know a lot of times we talk about, we want the residents, the community to go to the council meetings and talk about, you know, your concerns and everything. So this is our version of bringing the council to the community. So once again, I am grateful that you all came out. Thank you also to Pastor Mobley and Victory Baptist Church for allowing us to have the meeting here in this space. What I'd like to do is to try and utilize the different churches in the community, because if we're here in a community, then maybe we won't act out as much because we are in the house of the Lord. But definitely, please, I want you, any questions or concerns that you have, make sure that you ask those. I'm also going to pass out some cards, just in case we don't get an opportunity to answer all of your questions. Then we'll write those on those cards. And you all see the newsletter that that I put together. That newsletter, there's a section in there that has what are your questions. So those questions that don't get answered in the meeting, what I do is I go and I talk to all the different divisions of labor to make sure that those questions are answered. And that's always in the newsletter, so that'll always be present here once you come to the next meeting. So what I would like to do now is to ask Pastor Mobley to give us a word of prayer before we get started with the meeting. There you go. Thank you.
Good evening. We are blessed and honored to have you here at Victory Baptist Church, and on behalf of the Victory Baptist Church family, many of our members and leadership, you'll see them in the blue around. Whatever we can do to help you. I know she said we're going to have a word of prayer. I'm a Baptist preacher, so we're going to have a word of prayer. But I am so glad to meet many of you. We are here. You're here. We're part of this community. And if there's anything we can do to help you, please reach out to Victory Baptist Church. We're here. We want to be a part of what you're doing. Amen? For those of you who would pray with me, let's pray. We thank you for the opportunity, God, to be alive. And then you've given us a chance to serve. We thank you, God, for these elected officials and these city officials who do their best to help the citizens of East Point. And we pray, oh God, that they will make sound and right decisions. But we also pray for our community, that we would grow together and that we would appreciate one another. Bless us in thy precious name, O Lord. Amen.
So normally, we've had these meetings before, and what I like to do is I like to bring out various divisions of labor here in the city of East Point. So normally what they'll do is they'll just kind of let you guys know a little bit of what we have going on in the city with regards to water and sewer, any type of infrastructure, things that are going on. The fire department, police, they'll come and they'll report out as well. So I think we have water and sewer. There's someone here, we have a representative from Power, the police department, the fire department, Parks and Recs. And I see our code enforcement, they're here as well. So what we'll do at this time, we'll have those representatives to come up. They'll tell you, like I said, a little bit of what's going on in the community at this time, and they'll be more than welcome to answer any questions that you may have. But before I do that, I want to give it to Tremaine Mitchell to have him to, if he has some words to express.
Just really quick, I know there's a lot of concern in the community. Is this thing on? Hopefully, is the city manager? Okay, so I don't want to take away from that. We want to use this as time to listen and answer as many questions as we can. I know even in the last city manager report, we're using this time to kind of rebuild our processes behind, being fiscally responsible, making sure we have guardrails in place, that we can be good steward of the city finances and the city money. So with that being said, let me start.
So since I have Miss Melissa, because I always mess up her last name, but she's from our water and sewer department, so I'm going to have her to come up and just kind of brief you on some things that we have going on in the city, and she will tell you about some new programs that we have as well.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, so what we have currently that's a pressing issue is the per and polyfluoroalkyl substances in drinking water. It's a national issue. It is not an East Point concern. Every city or municipality or water authority had until 2027 to complete their round of testing. And then you have until 2029 to start removing PFAS from your drinking water. There are over 15,000 substances in the world, but only 6 are currently going to be regulated in drinking water. Without the support of the most, that would have not been possible. We utilized just over $500,000 to retrofit the water treatment plant in April of this year. And currently, all PFAS that are regulated in drinking water are non-detectable in East Point City's drinking water system. So that is an awesome opportunity. What I did is I provided most people, if you don't have one, I have a PFAS brochure. We are in the process of completing a video. We will be attending churches, HOAs, and town hall meetings to address any concerns people may have about PFAS. They are everywhere. They do not break down in water. They're in makeup, waterproof, any type of Teflon container, to-go containers. They are in everything. Air, water, and soil, they are everywhere around us. The second program that we're rolling out is the Serve Line Leak program. It rolls out September the 1st. Every resident in East Point will be automatically enrolled. If you want to opt out of this program, you just call the number below. What this program protects you from is if you have a leak on your property. The insurance program will cut a check to the city for the lost water versus residents paying for it. On average, when you have a leak on your property, you may see a bill up to $3,000. So you may think, well, this may not impact me directly. As a resident and taxpayer, every penny that you utilize, you spend in your water bill is how we pay the water and sewer staff, how we maintain your water and sewer lines, how we treat the chemicals in our drinking water. So this right here will protect your investment in our water system for a small fee of $1.60 per month. We've done so much work with the municipal option sales tax for water and sewer infrastructure. At the last council meeting, I supplied the mayor and council members with everything that we have utilized, whether it was through billing inserts, whether it's through fixing water and sewer lines, water treatment plant renovations. Everything is here. I have a few copies here if you did not receive it. The most will be on the next election, and there is so much more work to do. We have several $100 million worth of assets that need repair and rehabilitation. So I also have passed out a flyer with our water_sewer email address. If you would like a copy of this, I'm also going to place this on the city's website tomorrow. So again, this is just making sure that you know where the most has been spent and allocated. So as far as water infrastructure upgrades, through Senator Raphael Warnock and Senator John Ossoff, you know at the beginning of this year, they authorized and passed the East Point Water Infrastructure Act, with which we will receive $15 million to rehabilitate our water lines from Sweetwater Creek State Park into our reservoir on Ben Hill Road and Campbellton Road. We received another $1.6 million in federal funding to renovate and upgrade the water treatment plant. You will see a video from our communication department on that. We also received another $1.6 million to replace several water lines. And we've also received several $100,000 from community block grant funding to replace many of the water and sewer lines that we have. We also have an additional $5.5 million in Georgia Environmental Finance Authority loans, $2 million for our Ben Hill Reservoir repairs, $2 million for water and sewer line replacement, and another $2 million we received for additional water line replacement. So the goal is to let you know that we're not trying to directly raise rates. Me and my staff, we're doing everything we can to apply for any type of grant opportunity, whether it's through the county, whether it's through the federal government, to request funding so that it's not directly impacting you all. But I just want you to know that with the most, we've done so much work in the last 3 years, but we have so much more work to do to be able to provide quality drinking water to the city of East Point residents in our community. Any questions for me? I know it's a lot, and I talk fast, but yes.
Water
Yes. Yes, you can opt out. I can pass this around. Yes, and the number to opt out is here. So I will pass this around. Yes, I appreciate it, Chief. I'll give you one. Sorry, you all. Okay. I'll give you the best. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, we have, several people have opted out, but I need you to understand if you opt out of the program and you have a leak on your property, you'll be responsible for that. For a mere amount of $1.60, like I said, the average leak will cost a resident up to $3,000. Yes. That is too, it's similar, but not the same. One program is through the National League of Cities, and it is a pipe break warranty program. I recommend residents do that as well. I live 5 minutes from East Point property line, and I had a leak between my meter and my house, and I had to call a plumber because my water bill was $5,000. So, yeah, and the plumber wanted $5,000. So, I tell people this, for that small fee per month, it is worth the investment. If you have a busted sewer pipe on your property beyond the city's responsibility or water pipe, that company will come out and conduct the repairs. So if you would like information concerning that as well, I also will put that information on the water and sewer website, and it's also on the back of your utility bills. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I think you answered my question, because I was going to ask if it covered water and sewer.
Yes.
Because we've been doing a thing through a company called Service Line Warranties.
That's it.
Different? So
This-
this is the same company
This is the same company, but a different warranty program.
and a lot cheaper. by the
Yes,
way.
so,
Yeah,
so
it's a
this
good deal.
program is $1.60 per month, but
Right.
this will be directly on your water bill.
Right.
If you want your pipes repaired on your property, you have to pay that company separately, independently. It's not directly through the city. It's, right, so this program now, they have other programs, but this one you will see as $1.60 on.
It's pretty much still the same program, is that correct?
No, this covers the water loss aspect.
Oh,
One
just the
just
water
covers
loss.
the pipe
Okay.
repair.
Okay.
So again, if you have a water leak on your property, you're facing two whammies. You
Right.
have to pay for the water on your bill. That's going to increase your bill, and I'm going to tell you how. Your sewer bill is based off of your water use. So if your bill goes up 1,000 on water, it's going to go up 1,000 on sewer. And then you have to hire a licensed plumber to do the repairs.
I got you.
Both warranty programs for a small fee will cover those expenses for you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a mic, so if you want to, do you have a question? Or?
What actually would cause the leak?
Oh, it depends. They break. I mean, pipes over time, they break. So the city is responsible for anything from the meter itself to the street. Anything behind the meter to your house is the responsibility of the homeowner. And so some people will not realize it until the next billing cycle unless you see water surfacing on your property. But for me, for instance, when my bill went up to $5,000, it was an underground leak, and I did not see it. So the plumber had to pull up my entire yard to locate that.
I see. Okay, thank you.
I can start working our way forward. You can pass this down? No. Oh, okay. Do you have a question?
I do. Thank you.
You mentioned earlier that we had received some loans for repairs to the reservoir, et cetera. When do those loans come due, and are we going to be able to meet those obligations?
We are. So, yes, let's go back. So what I ended up doing probably about 6 years ago, I ended up qualifying the city of East Point to be what you call a Water First accredited city. In order to do that, that means that our ordinances support water conservation, environmental stewardship. That means land development is more stricter. With us getting that accreditation, we get a 1% reduction on any loans and preferential kind of issues when it comes to grant applications through Department of Community Affairs. So just to note that this loan is 20 years. It's not due until we complete the project, and the only project we've completed thus far is the water main replacement project. For the repairs of the Ben Hill Dam that we have on Campbellton Road, those plans are in the hands of Georgia Safe Dams Program, and their engineers have to approve the design before we put that project out for bid. At the council meeting last month, we put the water and sewer line replacement project. So we've already issued a PO to that company. We will be replacing 48 manholes and over 3 miles of degraded sewer lines throughout the city of East Point. And you may say, well, why is that important? When we have sewer overflows, we contaminate our watershed, and that is no good for anyone. And so that is very critical for us to do those type of things. So again, the loans are not due until 6 months after the project is complete. And I do believe we will have the revenues to do it because the payments are extremely low with that 1% reduction.
Anyone else? Questions? Okay, go ahead. Can you pass this down?
I have a septic tank, and I want to know how many other East Point residents have septic tanks. And I know that I pay for sewer, but I know I can't just get rid of my septic tank. So how many other people have this issue, and can you explain to me better why I pay both?
Yes, it's actually written in the ordinance, and the issue is we have probably 198 septic systems in the city of East Point. And that's what we're trying to do in changing. I am trying to, the reason why you're tied to a septic is because our sewer system does not expand far enough for you to meet us to that point. And so right now, like for instance on Brookdale, I just extended that. Since you pay, we're not going to charge you a tap fee to it. When we bring it, you just need to just have that plumber tie into that. And then, so that's the goal. The goal here is to expand our sewer service to every resident in East Point as part of the municipal option sales tax. It's just the way the city system was made. One, I would tell people don't realize it. We don't use pumps for our sewer. Everything is gravity fed. So if we don't have enough slope for that sewer to drain, it does complicate things, especially in areas that have already been built. So it does cause some issues, but there are some things that we can do. But we are currently trying to expand our sewer lines to all residents on septic.
Is there a time frame?
Money. I'm just, that's, if I had it, I would have did it already. It's definitely money is the issue. But again, we just extended it on Brookdale because we were having some sewer issues and it just made sense. So I would ask that you email me at water_sewer@eastpointcity.org, and what I can end up doing is try to put that on the list or give you a time frame and when we can expand the sewer system to your residents.
Give me one. Okay.
I didn't understand what you said about the service lines warranty.
Yes, there are 2 separate programs. One is a service line warranty, and the service line warranty program will protect your water pipes on your property beyond the city's responsibility. You have to independently sign up with the Home Serve program through the National League of Cities. And again, I will place that information on the city's website, but it's actually also on the back of the utility bill. This program protects you from, I keep moving my hand, from the water loss associated with you having a leak on your property. So you have to pay a plumber, but also the water that has been lost for you having an unknown leak, also has to be paid for. For $1.60, this company will pay and cut a check to the city for your loss, so you're not responsible for that.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. I see we have Chief Thorne. Where do you want to go? Okay. We do have Parks and Rec. Here you go.
All right, good evening. I'm Shalord Pickett. I'm your Parks and Rec Director. Been with the city about 15 years now. Last 5 years, I've been serving as your Parks Director. We have a lot of cool things going on, and I'll start specifically with Sykes Park. As you guys know, we've done a lot of improvements over there. More recently, we've done all the tennis courts over. How many pickleball players do we have in here? Nobody. Okay. I thought I was gonna get everybody out of their seat with that one. But pickleball is like a really popular sport. Right now, we're offering free pickleball training. How many of you have heard of pickleball? Okay. All right. So that's the awesome thing. Believe it or not, we were introduced to pickleball here in the city of East Point back in 2017. So at that time, I had a very active senior programs going on at our park, and we had a lot of tennis players where the impact of the concrete on their knees started becoming very taxing. So I thought it was a weird name, but 8 years fast forward, it's the fastest growing sport in the world. But we were kind of on the forefront from a recreational standpoint with pickleball. We won state championships, and we're actually starting now back at the beginning for new beginners to the sport. So we're doing free training every Saturday. We have a pickleball pro along with our staff that does training for free from 9 to 11:30. We're in week 3 come this Saturday. So definitely take advantage of it, take a look at it. Super fun, very addictive sport to play. We have some of the best outdoor courts in Metro Atlanta area. If you come out there typically on the evening or a Saturday, the crowd would definitely verify that we have amazing facilities. One of the areas that I'm very proud of, I've been working on the last 6 months, is the Sykes Parks Pavilions, the lower bowl of the park. So good things about it. I'll start with safety first. We were lucky to receive a park ranger. So the park ranger, his job is to patrol my trails during the day when a lot of things were happening. Most of you probably kind of familiar with it, but his presence has made a big difference out there. But he patrols that area primarily. That's his primary post. Now, a lot of times he moves around, but his primary post is to make sure safety and his presence is at that park. As far as the pavilions go, I'm actually a native. This was my point guard back in the early 90s, and he was fast. Yeah, he was really fast, y'all. But we actually grew up right down the street from Sykes Park. I still own a property now right off of Washington Road behind the old Bowling Bach grocery store. My sister lives there now, but Sykes Park is near and dear to me. It's a park that I grew up playing personally. Those pavilions have been offline since I became a director, but we've improved all of those pavilions, fresh paint, new roof, gutter systems. We created paths that's accessible for wheelchair-bound people to actually access all of the pavilions. I have 2 pavilions in the rear that we run in power to, but you have power in each pavilion. I'm maybe about 3 weeks away from opening it up. I'm building an outdoor fitness court. That equipment should be in at the end of next month. So off of one of the trails, if you're walking the trail and want to do some other physical fitness activities, there will be an outdoor fitness park at that site as well. A lot of the trails, we have mountain bike trails in the rear of the park. I'm not sure how many mountain bike riders we have. Okay, I got to stick with the pickleball, it looked like. All right. But anyway, so we thought that was a cool addition to add. We added it during COVID. In our budget this year, we have a budget that's going to afford us to actually purchase so many mountain bikes to teach kids to ride bikes. I know that seems kind of cliche, but kids really don't go outside as much as when me and Corey were kids. But we're trying to get the kids back outside, try something different. We actually have an advanced bike track as well. So once we finish the renovation, now that I have my park ranger, we'll be doing programming on the bike side, probably in spring of 26. Another additions we made out at Sykes Park, we've added some inclusive playground equipment, auto-sensory playground equipment to the park, the playground space that's over here. And we're also adding a shaded pavilion alongside of the tennis court near the basketball court. Another cool feature that will be coming before council at the next work session in September, we're doing charging stations. How many people drive electric cars? Oh, wow. Okay. I gotta stick with pickleball. All right. Well, we're gonna be adding, we have a lot of people that are going electric, but we'll be putting charge ports. It was in my capital budget, so we'll be making those additions, not only to Sykes Park, but to a lot of our banner parks. One other thing I wanted to touch on, obviously is the big one for me, is the multiplex rec center. That is a goal we've had in my department since I was probably a recreation leader. about growing our program to a point where we demanded more space. Through the hard work of my team, I've been a part of the team in every aspect in recreation. I've been the summer camp director, started off an 8-week job, has turned into 15 years. So we've been putting in a lot of work in the one facility that we do have. At this date, we are the largest recreational flag program in the state. We have the largest basketball program in Metro Atlanta out of that one facility. From a T-ball, baseball standpoint, we are the largest 3 to age 6 baseball program on the south side of town. So that's something that my team has worked very hard. We do an excellent job, I think, of marketing. I got to get more of a presence on Facebook. Most of my audience is on Instagram, but that is something that we're working on to make sure you all are kind of staying in tap with what we're doing. But as far as the Recreation Center goes, we've already onboarded the engineering firm. We're in the design phase of that project. I'm not sure if Mr. Jones is speaking tonight, but we have an amazing engineering firm that we brought on board that's designing something I think the whole city would be proud of. It'll be a multi-dimensional facility. We have senior programming, obviously youth programming. We're very big in STEM with my recreation center. So we are trying to cover the gamut of who we're trying to service with this facility. One of the things that I've been working with Ms. Cummings on is bringing back the goat field. A lot of you familiar, I don't know if that's a technical name, but that's what they told me it was called. That's what it is. All right, so the goat field, I got 3 hands up on that one. All right, so our amazing water director helped me out. Obviously, we're almost at a point of being landlocked from a park and recreation standpoint. We have a few green spaces, but one of our more prominent green spaces is the goat park. So the civil engineering work was done by Melissa and her team maybe about a year ago. I've been talking to different engineering firms about what we could possibly do in this space. One of the things that went away from our program for youth was track. After COVID, we weren't really allowed to use the school system's track, which would be Tri-Cities. It wasn't as easy to get the kids out there on the track because they only wanted access for students that went to Tri-Cities. So I've always wanted to have a full track program. We have enough land, luckily, where we can possibly put a track out in this space, and Ms. Cummings will hold it up for you. But we looked at a possibility of a few things that could be in this space. I've built a lot of trails here in the city the last 5 years, but we don't have an open air space. How many people knees are bad in the room? All right, so my knees hurt as well. So my point in saying it is a lot of the nature trails that we've built, it's a lot of tough terrain, but sometimes people just want to walk on a smooth surface around a track that's going to be well lit. So we talked about adding a track to that space, pavilions, bathrooms, potentially a skate park. I'm a golfer, so I've seen in Clayton County, they have a lot of putting and chipping areas. I thought that could be possibly a cool feature. We're going to have more discussions on that in the near future, but right now we're just trying to reimagine what the space could be. I got some hands up. Are these golfers? Not golfers, okay. Okay, no goat field. Okay, it's actually, what you want to say, 0.3 miles down on the right. It's just an open grass field. I think a long time ago, Corey, it was a tennis court.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's off of, go ahead.
It's right before you get to Old.
It's on Dotson.
It's on Dotson on the right-hand side.
So if you were going to Sykes Park from this church, I think we go through maybe one light, less than 0.2 miles is right on the right before you get to Sykes Park.
It's right at the curve of the dead end Jersey Drive. It's right at the curve right there on the right-hand side.
So that is our wish list for that particular area. We'll have more community meetings to discuss.
I was going to say really, go ahead.
Okay, so what I did not mention, inside of the track space, it will be a multi-use field in the middle that could purpose as a flag football field or a soccer field. So it will be included in the design. The track? It depends on what the engineers, so with the civil engineering, they got to do some surveys to make sure, I think it's more like a dirt composite, if I remember. So it'll determine what type of concrete or whatever type of composite the track will be made out of. Hopefully, from a budgeting standpoint, we'll have the softer version of the track, so it will be a low impact on your knees. But it's very early. Right now, we're in the imagination phase. So we would have to onboard an engineering firm to actually give us cost estimates and what exactly could fit on the property.
On the multi-use facility,
Mhm.
I could have missed it, but I didn't hear anything about the swimming pool.
Yeah, so it is a hope that we can do that as well. That is in the design plans as well. Well, let me say that. Yeah, what did Melissa say? Money. Yeah, but it'll probably be an outdoor, honestly, probably outdoor pool, similar to what like College Park and Duncan Park and Fairburn has. Yeah.
Yes, as a senior citizen here at East Point, it sounds real good about the improvements, future improvements to Sykes Park. But for me, and I'm sure for a lot of other seniors, safety is an important factor.
Mhm.
You mentioned Ace Park Ranger.
It's 2 on board now.
The area, as you know, is some wooded area, some wooded. Is there a plan in the future to have some type of camera system whereby anything that happens can be addressed immediately?
Actually, there are some, obviously, we're not privy to say where they're located, but that is a part of the plan. I'm not sure if the police department is here today, but it is something that we've discussed as well, along with a physical presence. Yeah. But it is some out there. Yes, sir.
I have two questions. One is around, a great job, by the way, you're right, with regards to the publicity on Instagram. But when you think about the kids that are involved in all the activities, what percentage of those are from East Point?
Right now, we're probably about 50 to 60%, to be honest with you. So that's growing. So some of our development, we had to pretty much start from scratch coming out of COVID. So at that point, we had raised our program levels to capacity. After COVID, I was shut down probably in the first 2 months of being the interim director. We didn't open up completely until like the end of 2021. So over the last 2 to 3 years, we've been growing our East Point base. And I do think that with our access to Ward D Rec Center, we'll be able to touch and reach more kids on that side of Camp Creek as well. But that number is steadily growing. So when we were first developing our programs, the reach on that side of East Point was kind of challenging, right? So a lot of people in close proximity to our gym and our main facility, which is John D. Milner Sports Complex, we were attracting kids just right there. Through our marketing efforts, we're starting to reach more people, but we'll have more reach being in Ward D as well as over near Tri-Cities. So that number is growing. So for example, our flag football league this year is predominantly East Point, and we have probably about 375 kids registered through East Point.
And then my second question is, Ratton Park, can you talk to us about
Yes. So Ranton Park, I'm just waiting on the PO. I've already been approved for that project. We had a migration changeover like late July, so I'm just waiting to get the PO. But the firm is there to do that. So if you're familiar with Ranton, it was tremendous runoff on that property. So we'll be addressing the landscaping to try to level it out a little bit more. We already purchased a beautiful big new playground for that park. All the amenities have been purchased. I'm just waiting on the PO to do the construction. So the good thing about that particular construction, we have new sod, new playground, accessible equipment. And if you notice with most of our parks, probably up to about 2 or 3 years ago, the accessibility wheelchair access was very limited. So the plan process is to make sure someone can navigate through that entire project. Mm-hmm.
you can have your patrol officers to patrol that area?
Okay.
When you think about safety,
Yes.
it continues to be faced with vandalism.
Okay.
And also, we're having a high influence of youth activity over there.
Okay.
Second thing, how do you plan to get the branding consistent in all the parks?
Get to who?
The branding, like the signage.
So we have done that. As far as the park signs, we changed those out probably about 6 weeks ago. Yep. So the next thing I'll be going back through now is putting park rules out at the parks. So I had to make sure we had the old signs, we had like a lot of trees fall on those. And honestly, those park signs weren't vibrant in color to me. So I'm not sure if you guys paid attention to the new signs, but our design team, I thought, did a great job making them a lot more bolder and more current to the times, I'll say. Yes, yes, ma'am. Sumner Park, the baseball field. So right now, I'm correcting the lights out there with our electric department. So if you notice, we've done the landscaping around the rear of the concession stand. Didn't really want to announce it, but I can. I trust everybody in the room. But we got a brand new concession equipment in that space. All the doors have been repaired. We got the bathrooms online at that park. Only thing I'm waiting on now is the connection of the lights. Our electric department put my lights out, and actually I think they will be doing the connection of those lights, hopefully within the next week and a half, and that park will be open. So we'll be doing some programming. But that particular park is really gonna be for you all, just to get out there if you wanna play kickball, kind of do whatever you want. Our programs right now will possibly tilt over into that space, but right now I'm doing all my programming at John D. Miller Sports Complex. But we're just waiting on the lights now. Yes, ma'am. Okay. So some of you might be familiar with the trail master plan system that we developed back in 16, 17. I'm working actually with our public works department. That's primarily like a sidewalk type of project, but it falls under Parks and Rec. So I pretty much work really close with the department. So we've had discussions about updating those plans. There's been a lot of developments since that time when they first had the master plan done back in 16. But in some of the city landscape, those bike lanes were meant to be in there. But we'll be hopefully doing an upgrade or up-to-date version of that master plan to work around the developments that happened almost 10 years ago. But that is in the plans with some of our trail systems. Yes. At the park? Or, that's probably Jeff Reeves. Yeah, that would probably be something, Public Works.
From Public Works.
Yeah, Public Works, I'm not familiar. It was about a retention wall along the street, or? So that's probably our Public Works. Talking about a retention wall that was near somebody's property. But that's probably a Public Works questions. Do we have anybody from Public Works here? Yeah. I'm not sure if somebody from Public Works is coming. They could probably answer that question. Yes.
You wanna, well, I'm gonna take this round so everyone can hear, okay? And I'm sorry, some folks can't hear and I can't hear, and I'm up front.
Does the Parks and Recreation handle wildlife?
No, we actually don't. That is a police department type of thing. When we see wildlife, that's what we call. And I
Okay.
think it's actually a phone number that he has. I'm not sure if anybody from police is here.
Okay,
Yeah, but not necessarily Parks and Recreation.
okay.
He-
Yes. So with regards to the wildlife, that's going to be Fulton County Animal Control.
So in regards to the wildlife, because we do have a lake in our community, it is a number you can call, and they will get EPA. So it's definitely, we don't do the animal control, but it is a number that we can provide that will contact EPA to come out for wildlife, because we encounter it a lot in our lake.
All right.
If you out there and they stand and look at you like, what you doing out here?
Thank you.
I'm not sure. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Mr. Pickett. Just really quickly, I did want to say thank you. You helping me with a couple initiatives that are near and dear to my heart. I know we did get funding for a youth golf program. We're trying to start a chess club. I think also I was on the East Point Youth Council when I was growing up, so hopefully we're trying to bring that back. And the senior pickleball league.
Yes. Yeah, I can speak to that. Remember when I started my job as a parks director? This was my summer camp counselor, Tremaine. So I've been knowing Tremaine a long time. I'm glad I treated him right. But but anyway, so Tremaine obviously knows I love golf, right? So I've talked to a couple of golf pros. Now we don't have a golf course, right? But I did, when I started playing golf, I used to practice all the time at College Park. So I know a few of the golf pros over there. So Tremaine wanted to do 2 initiatives. One was golf. So what we'll be doing is working with probably 9 and 10 and 11 and 12-year-olds on golf. I'm hoping to try to do it this fall, but we got to get equipment. But the golf pro can take about 10 kids in each of those groups. So roughly it'll be 20 students that will go out there. We'll purchase the starter equipment. Those kids will take the starter equipment over there once they register in the program, and they can get taught by a golf pro to try to learn and pick up on the sport. Also, chess was an initiative that Tremaine wanted to start. We're looking at piloting that. We do a STEM after-school program with a lot of schools that's here in East Point. So we're going to try to infuse the chess component into some of the STEM activities. And we've talked about some other youth initiatives, but those are 2 things that's kind of coming down the pipeline.
Yes.
So right now, we want to get the kids that are interested. So I was telling Tremaine, we want to work with a captive audience of the kids that we have in our after-school program. We have about 60 kids that's in our after-school program. So we're going to pilot it with that group, and then we'll look at kind of branching off once we kind of get feedback from this test group. And then we can come up with like age groups, market, and see what age group are interested in it, and then we'll try to go from there.
Okay. I'm addressing this question to anyone that can answer it. My wife and I have lived in East Point for 47 years over here on, near this new school that was built. My question is there anything available to senior citizens on fixed income to help remove the trees that are constantly falling on our house?
Yeah, well, I can't take that one. That's another department, yeah.
Okay, with regards to, they're large trees or the branches? Okay, so.
They ain't branches, it's big old trees. They're getting old and they're toppling over, especially with the storms that are going on. Okay. And I've heard various information that there's programs to help people like us that are on fixed incomes.
Yeah, so there's a program that we were using, it's Men of Intelligence, but we're looking at revamping and doing some different things. We may still go back with them, but we're still just kind of figuring out exactly what it is that we're going to do. But let me personally get your address, because I know there's a big thing where the arborist has to come out and they look at certain trees, and I know that's kind of like that's a huge thing for it just to go through that process. But let me find out exactly what our process is with regards to removing, because there's certain trees that they will allow you and will not allow you to remove. But let me find out exactly, and then I will also personally look into some programs, because there's some programs that we do have with our equity and inclusion. They have there's a division of that with House Proud that the city has partnered with, and we will look at possibly being able to assist some residents with that. But I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I'll get your information and see exactly what it is that we can do specifically for your situation.
Me too.
Okay.
There's some Me Too's out here.
Okay, so if branches are over above power lines, we're gonna have power, they're gonna come up next and they're gonna tell you all about that. Yes, ma'am.
That was my same question
Okay.
about the power lines.
Yes, sir.
When do we get to the quality of life? Am I before that, or because I want to? We're talking about parks and stuff. I got a lot of stuff. Is that coming down the road?
It is coming. It's
Okay.
coming. What I normally do is we'll have the various divisions of labor. They give a brief report, just let you know some things that are going on, some concerns, and you guys ask those questions. And after that, we're going to open the floor up to the residents. So we have a representative. Thank you, Mr. Pinkett. Nature trails.
I'm sorry, where are the other nature trails other than in Sykes Park?
We got Connolly Nature Trail on September, I think it's maybe 8th. We'll be doing our third phase of the Connolly Nature Trail. So it's 2 trails that sit in that park. The next trail connection will move out of the wooded trail back to the Model Mile Trail that we built in like 2021. But it's at Connolly Nature Park. Yep.
I just want to double back on the tree question. If the tree is a public safety issue, like it's known to likely fall on your home or something like that, we'll have if our arborist comes out and verifies that, we'll use our 50 Worst program to get that tree down. So only if it's a public safety issue. So that tree has to fall underneath that, but then we'll be able to do that on a case-by-case basis. So we have done that before. Just wanted to add that to what was said already.
Okay, good evening.
I'm sorry, I had one more question about the tree, since we were on the subject. We're right off of Dodson Drive, and there's it seems like it's been for sale for maybe 3 years, a big, massive lot with a crazy amount of trees. And we've already had one fall on our property. Thankfully, we weren't hurt, but our property was damaged. What is the protocol if the lot is empty? Like, in that case, nothing's being built on it, so I know we can't really talk to the owners about the safety, and we can't cut it ourselves. What's the protocol for homes that are abandoned, or it's just a really massive lot with a lot of trees?
Well, the case that I was just talking about was a case like that, and it was a 50 Worst property identified. So if you have that situation, we'll help identify the owners to that property. In this particular case, it was a tax sale, and so we reached out. We wound up finally getting in contact with the person responsible, and we were able to work an agreement to get those trees down. The city wound up actually paying, but at least we had opportunity to get onto the property, because you still have to, have permission to get onto the property in those kind of situations. So sometimes they get very complicated, but if you bring that to our attention and we do identify it as a safety issue, then we'll start working on trying to get that tree down.
So what we're going to do is, because just trying to be respectful of the time that we have here, and because we do have some pressing questions, some things that residents have, we have a representative from Power, Police, Fire, and Code Enforcement. They're going to talk for maybe 10 minutes or so. So if you don't get your questions answered, then I have these cards and some pens, and like we normally do at all the meetings, you write those questions and concerns there, your contact information, and I'll make sure that we get those answers to you, okay? Thank you.
Really quick on the tree question, because we are actually in a ward where we experience power outage like every other week. So just wondering, is it any conservation, or do you have any protocols on who's monitoring the trees, how they're growing over the power lines? Is it something in place where there are like cutbacks seasonally, quarterly, just something to help us kind of wrap our brain around maintaining some level of sanity when we're constantly experiencing these power outages?
Okay, yes, we do. To answer your question, what we have on our staff, we have 2 certified arborists. And what they do is, throughout the city, is go around and monitor trees that can possibly affect the, we call that our danger tree removal program that council has approved. And that's their only job, besides supervising during the day, is to look for trees, danger trees that could possibly affect the power lines. You have to remember, it's, 4 wards, and they move, and they're concentrating on the primary lines, the primary circuits that feed throughout the city. Then they move to the secondary circuits just throughout the city. So yes, we do have staff that's working on the power, monitoring those trees throughout the city. Majority of the trees that are coming down, I would say 90% of those trees are on private property. So that's what's causing these issues. If it's a private property issue, we too much have to monitor how we remove those trees. But we also want to take in consideration that, hey, if it's going to cause a power outage, cause customers to be without power, we take the initiative to remove those trees. Yes.
So how about the tree on private property, but the branch, there's a branch that leads and it's like over power lines, can you just like cut it? Because there's been trees like down Broken Road, that there's so many like that are over power lines that are not being cut down, and like it's one good wind and it looks like it'll break. So
yes, you like our certified arborists, first thing they do, they go out and check to see if it's a healthy tree. If it's a healthy tree, then they don't look at it as it could be possibly be a danger, because the tree still has life in it. But if it's a tree that has decay in it, then yes, they definitely would take it.
well, even if you don't take the whole tree down, if it's just the limb that needs to cut off, you see what I'm saying? That's over the power line that could possibly break and come down on the power line. That's my concern. It's not the tree, but the actual. Some of these limbs are as big as trees, so if they come down, and they're if they're over the property and into the street and over the power lines, then they need to be cut.
You have a good point.
At least the branch, not the whole tree, but at least the branch.
That would definitely be a question for our arborists to answer. If you look on Facebook, we have a video on how to look at your trees, see if you have a healthy tree, what type of how to inspect your tree. So if you have a tree that's having a problem, we can come out and take a look at it.
But it's not my tree. I'm just saying it's a tree that affects the power lines in our neighborhood.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. Well, I'll take that question and get with E.J. Hall. He's our tree arborist, and see can I get a response for you.
The tree in my front yard, right? Because I was concerned about it. It had an extremely large branch fall years ago, came to my house, the neighbor's house. So there's like a gap. And then there's some other areas where it's another big limb. He said it's the tree trying to strengthen itself to keep from falling, right? So he said eventually it would split, but I had a little time, but branches are constantly falling, right? So I don't know what branch is gonna fall. But he said the tree is still healthy, but branches fall. Some fall in the yard, some fall in the street. So I'm concerned that one of these branches may fall and hit someone. And from the height of that tree, it could seriously injure them or kill them, even though I'm told the tree is healthy.
Yeah, now that would definitely be a safety concern. So we definitely, any tree that you're having an issue, you have questions about, please email poweroutage@eastpointcity.org, and we'll send our arborists out there to take a look at it, because we definitely don't want that to happen. East Point, what is it? poweroutage@eastpointcity.org. You can reach us at 404-270-7178. I just gave up my. I just gave up my work sale. Hold on, let me reach. 442707010. All right.
Are we? How can y'all strengthen or improve the communication of power outages? Because here's the challenge is that you have different elected council members that are pushing out information, but in my opinion, I think it should be coming from power, because then we're getting real-time information and also we're getting accurate information. So can you talk to us about this communication breakdown that we're experiencing?
Okay, so to contact power at and it's monitored 24/7 by our team. Power outage at eastpointcity.org. That's the email. To call us direct after hours, it goes to a answering service, but you still can reach us at 404-270-7010.
No, my question is, when there's a power outage, how can y'all help inform us that there's a power outage and we're not hearing it from either council or secondhand information?
Okay, good question. So what happens from our standpoint, outage is reported. Well, not outage is reported. The system notifies us that there's an outage. Once that outage is notified, our AMI team, our dispatch team immediately send communications, email, and give communication a call and advise them that we currently have an outage to send out whatever communication they need to do. We send notification to our mayor and council, all department heads, so everyone is aware that the power outage is going on. A lot of times that notification, it comes directly to us. So a lot of times when you're reporting a power outage, we already know that the power outage is happening. Only thing you guys should be waiting for the communication of what's going on, what caused that power outage. After hours, when it comes to after hours, when during normal hours, we have crews here Monday through Friday, so we're able to get to those outages very quickly. But after hours, our crews are at home. We don't have after hours staff, so they have to leave their home. Our arrival time is 1 hour. They got 1 hour to get from their house to East Point and then go assess the outage. And then we can provide communication on what we found. Okay.
I was going to say thank you. Councilwoman Starr is walking around. We're going to have to go to the next presenter if you don't mind. So if you do have a question, please raise your hand and we can get your information.
All right, one more quick thing, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
We definitely want everybody to sign up for Utility Hawk. That is a way for you guys to monitor your bills and monitor your usage. It's very helpful. And at the same time, that's the same part of the same notification that we receive when your power is out. So if you check that, it will let you know. Utility Hawk. It's on the East Point City website. Utility Hawk. And you can monitor your daily usage. It'll let you know how much you're using on a daily basis. So it also can help you save as well. You monitor and see how much you use on a day-to-day basis, and then just try to curb your usage from there. All right?
All right, thank you so much.
Can you all hear me? Yeah. I usually talk pretty loud. Okay.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me now? It's not too loud. Okay. I'm Corey Thorne with the East Point Fire Department. Just a little history about me. I've been in the city this is finna be 31 years of service for the city of East Point. I started out as a firefighter, worked my way up to my current position, fire chief, where I've been for 6 years. Graduated from Tri-Cities High School, so I'm homegrown. My mom is here, still lives here in East Point, and had a house on Rockwood Road right around the corner from here. Here in the fire service, what we're doing, some of the unique things that we're doing. One of the things is, I don't know if you're familiar with ISO, but it's the insurance office. That's how we're graded. We're graded every 3 years statewide. It's all across the United States. Now, you have a rating of 1 being the best, 10 being the worst. And the big impact for citizens is the higher your rating, the more you pay in insurance. So currently, right now in the city of East Point, we have a 1. Which means we're one of the best in the state of Georgia. And that's what allows your insurance to be so low. Now, some of the programs that we have, we have what we call a Santa ride-along. So as a kid, I participated in this. So I brought it back 6 years ago when I became the chief. What that is you might have seen it years ago. We come around every year, we go purchase toys for kids. And then we put Santa on the fire truck, ride around. I try to hit every ward. We do this in December. And we give kids toys, and we allow them to meet Santa and things like that. It's just something that I started a long time ago, and we're still doing it. Now, in addition to that, currently we have 3 fire stations here in the city. But through mayor and council, they've afforded us the opportunity to actually reopen one. You might be familiar with the one on Washington Road before you get to Old Club Candlewood. We're actually renovating that station now. So that station is projected to be opened up in March of next year. And when I took over, we were at 44 personnel. Currently, we're at 85, and we're allocated for 100. We have a class going right now. As of Saturday, we've made 5 promotions, and one of those 5 was the third female ever promoted in the City of East Point Fire Department. She was just promoted Saturday to driver. So some of the things that we've done in East Point, when I came on September 11, 1995, so it was not a lot of African Americans when I came on. Of course, the demographics have changed, and I noticed that our demographics have changed citywide, from African American to Caucasian to Hispanics. So what I try to do when I hire, I don't hire just because you made a perfect score. I hire for the fit of the community. I try to keep a vested interest. I have a vested interest here in the city, considering my family's still here, brother, sister, mom, dad. And I try to hire for the best fit for this community, because I'm not going to be here forever. I plan on staying until the city manager ready for me to retire. But I'm trying to leave a legacy for everybody to follow. So what I try to look for is people that fit us, people that have a vested interest, and to ensure that we meet and see the demographics that we have in our city. We want to see that, because we've actually increased our Hispanic population as well. So currently we have 6 Hispanic firefighters. So I hired the first one about 6 years ago. So it's a lot of changes, and we're maneuvering in such a way. We're trying to be innovative with everything we're doing. We have another thing called Right Side. You familiar with that at all? Well, I know some of you all, when you call 911, sometimes we'll get there, but the ambulance might take a while. So what happens, we don't transport. We're not allowed to transport at all in the city of East Point. As a matter of fact, in the metro area, the only people that transport that actually has a license is the city of Hayfield. They're the only ones. But the council has afforded us the opportunity through our capital budget to actually purchase an ambulance. Now, we're going to get that ambulance. The only thing is we can't transport unless it's a major emergency and the ambulance is going to take too long to get there. If they say, okay, we have an ETA of 30 minutes and this call can't wait 30 minutes, then we'll be able to transport and we'll have that capability. And that happened because of council. They approved it, so we'll have that ambulance this year and we'll put it in service. So those are some of the things that we're working on. So, and right now we have a council purchased, they allowed us to purchase what we call a quint. You know, you have the big long ladder where somebody drives the front and somebody drives the back. By the way, so the unique thing with that is when the front man turns right, the back person has to turn left in order to make the turn. So now we have what's called a quint. It has engine capability, which means it has water on it, but it also has a 75-foot ladder. Now, what we're trying to do, we're trying to be innovative as far as how we do things. So we're going to take the ladder that's here at Station 4, right in this area. We're going to put it at Station 3, and then we're going to bring that quint down so that we can try to possibly staff 2 ladders. That way we'll have 2 ladders in the city of East Point for the first time in East Point history.
What's the price tag on that?
That ladder price tag was $1.5 million.
Just to give you an idea of what fire equipment costs.
Yeah, one engine One fire truck, the minimum that you'll pay is about $650,000. And for the ladder truck, that quint is 1.5. Now that long ladder where one person drives the front and one drives the back, that's 2.7 million. And the thing about that is the waiting list. So to get an engine, the 650,000, it's a 2-year waiting list to get a brand new one. To get a new ladder, it's a 3-year waiting list. So we're up for it. We have a logistics division that's solely dedicated. This council approved me to have a logistics division. So their job is strictly to purchase equipment, vehicles, any type of tools that we need. And they were able to get these actually at a reduced rate. Any questions that I can clear up, comments, concerns? Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I think I saw a chief. Is he presenting or a representative? Yeah.
You know, there's a kid back there, and there was a firefighter and a police officer. The kid wanted to be with me because he knows police officers do it right. Ha ha. How's everybody doing tonight? Good. I'm Sean Buchanan, Chief of Police. I also have with me Captain Bullock. He's all of our support services. So we're going to take some questions. I'm going to tell you what we're doing. Trying to make the city safer. A lot of complaints on speeding, so we increased our traffic unit. So hopefully y'all have seen a change in the driving behaviors. Also, as schools have started back, our school zone cameras are working, fully functional. The lights are working the way they're supposed to, so slow down in our school zones, please. I got a lot of phone calls last year, so let's slow down and help me out and help you out as well. So what we're looking at doing this year, in probably about 40 days, if it takes that long, we're using our drones as a first responder. It's a program that came out probably late last year, early this year. We're gonna be the first customer of Skydio that has multiple docks. We're gonna put 3 drones on our west side of the city, 3 drones by the headquarters. So when you call 911, they'll be responding as a first responder. They're autonomous drones. We have operators, but they actually go through GPS coordinates. So what they can do is get on the scene quick, and we're gonna let fire department use them too, because we know they don't have good technology, but we're gonna let them use them too for fires. But for real, they'll come to your call prior to the officer. 80% of the calls will be responded to in 90 seconds. So they'll get there. We can actually see what's going on if you call the police, and they can relay that information directly to the officers en route. That's probably the best technology that's out right now, and I promise you it's gonna revolutionize how we do policing. Even if you don't see them, they have about a 5-mile view, so we don't have to come right to the scene. We can kind of sit about a half a mile back and watch everything that's going on. So that's gonna revolutionize how we do business in the city of East Point. And as it grows, it's gonna be around the country. Policing would never be the same after this happens. So what kind of question you have for me? Yes, ma'am.
I'm just asking about that field on Metal Arc Drive, that it used to be a house there and it was torn down, Metal Arc, and how can I think the name of the street? Huh? Not Hogan, Ben Hill.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, and it used to be people coming there, I don't know if they call themselves target practice, and
So,
what, you know.
So she's talking about a house that was on Ben Hill. It was actually on Meadowlark and Ben Hill. We got several phone calls of people shooting. We've actually arrested that guy before. Have you had any recent complaints? Because he was arrested. I know exactly who you're talking about and what you're talking about, because we used to get calls every. Yeah, he was a nut. No, if you saw his driveway, it was a lot, but we have arrested him, and we also cited the people who owned the house. It was one of the relatives that was always coming over there shooting like this is the country. It was absolutely crazy. Yeah, I know. I know. Yes.
Chief, here with the opening of the Ethos Classical School, at the departure time in the afternoon, I'm trying to head off a big problem before it becomes even more of a major problem. Their dismissal line lines up along Dotson Road here, and it's taking away one of the lanes completely, and that's forcing everyone to either have to squeeze by or find an alternate route. And I'm trying to head off a major accident before it occurs.
So I'm glad you told me that. Let's send somebody by there. Normally they should have someone directing traffic, but if they don't, we'll take care of that.
And they don't, I can tell you. There's a person that stands at the driveway, but literally the line is from their first driveway all the way back to almost Hetland Drive.
Wow.
And it's right. And so if you're trying to get by two cars at the same time, it doesn't fit through.
And that's in the morning and afternoons?
It's actually primarily the afternoon.
Primarily the afternoons? Okay, we'll go by there tomorrow.
Great.
I send my traffic unit to find out what we can do about that. No problem. I'm glad you told me. Thank you.
In front of that MARTA station downtown, it's deplorable. I have a daughter. She just came home from college. She takes the train. It's a thing of contention, because I'm like, you're going to catch the train. I'm not going to come keep picking you up. You're not 12. And it's just, like from that CVS, say, down to that cupcake shop, I don't even know what to say because I'm in the church, and I won't. But it is a dumpster fire at best.
So I would say
it's not a good place to take a date. It's not a good place to take your grandma. It's just horrible, and I'm like, how does that happen 2 blocks from the trains, from the police station?
So let me kind of explain a couple of things that's going on. We actually have a police officer sign out there every day. So if you go by the model station, you should see an officer out there every single day. There's a police officer in a car that's walking back and forth trying to clean the area up. We have a serious homeless situation. That's one issue. We have Yolanda Johnson. She helps the homeless. We offer them places to live, all these type of things. Some people just do not take advantage of that. So and greater mental health. What we've told our officers, listen, we can't have panhandling and things of that nature right here. That's the main thoroughfare of the city. So we're making arrests, and trust me, that whole area has gotten better, but it still needs cleaning up. I can't wait till all this construction, first of all, stops. I'm like, how long does it take to, I don't know what they're doing, but how long does it take, goodness? Because it's very difficult to get around right there as well. But that's one of the issues, and that's why we signed a police officer out there, because what's happening is you had a lot of them drug guys at MARTA coming across the street, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So that's one reason we assigned a police officer there to kind of clean that area up.
And I don't know if this is your wheelhouse or not, but you have 2 vape shops in yards. I mean, you had one, and that kind of adds to the
Traffic, and the kind of, yes. So I didn't authorize no vape shops, okay? I didn't authorize the vape shops. And yeah, so we do have 2 vape shops there, and we've had multiple complaints because they're in such close proximity. A lot of people don't like that kind of look for the city. So that's why another reason we put a police officer out there every day, because we want to discourage any type of illegal activity there. And trust me when I say this, it's probably started about 2 years ago, and we've had it out there every day, and it's still a constant work in progress just because of the foot traffic. I'll pass it up because I know I can't do that unless it becomes a nuisance. So what a nuisance is, we have a nuisance violation, and that means the police have to go out there so many times in a month, so many times in 6 months, and things of that nature. Right now, that hasn't happened. If it had happened, trust me, we would definitely put a nuisance on it. Let me get this young lady right here. I think she has a hand up for a while.
Yes, Chief.
Hey, what's going on?
All right, how are you? A couple of years ago, it was mentioned that a system to identify location of gunshots was coming online. Where are we with that particular program now? Because gunshots remain a problem.
We have it. We have it. And matter of fact, we're about to increase it. It's called Raven. Well, it's
So it
something
is
called-
functioning, is what you're
It's
saying?
functioning, yeah. So it's a Shot Spotter is the common name. We have a system called Raven through Flock. And what happens is we have, including the CID unit, which is Airport Community Improvement District, we probably have about 50 Flock cameras in the city. The reason we went with Raven versus Shot Spotter is because where our Raven is located, we have a lot of Flock cameras. So it also directs and shows us where the gunshots are coming from. But sometimes we have people, for no apparent reason, driving around in a car, just shooting up in the air. And it also notifies the Flock camera so we can find out who they are. So that's why we have those cameras. And that's why we have the Raven. But we're gonna actually increase that because we do have a lot of shots fired here. The city manager spoke about that as well, wanting to increase that. So that will happen.
I have the mic right here. Hi.
Okay.
And thank you for you brought up the school, the ethos, and the traffic's really bad. I know the information says what we can do if you want to look into maybe having speed bumps, but since it's a school zone technically, what's the process if, I guess, what is it, the middle school on Headland? It has like the camera with the
Pody
speed.
West, yes.
What's the process for something in that area? Because once the people pass Ben Hill and go to Headland, it's just the stop sign, and they run that all the time. And they're going like 60 miles an hour between those two streets. Is there anything, because there's now students there, I know the school was closed for a while, that we can do beyond just maybe speed bumps? Because it seems like it's just unsupervised, and once school's out, they're flying down the street.
So now that you've told me, we're gonna definitely monitor that area because I was unaware of that.
Okay.
But the biggest thing, you asked about the speed zone cameras. They have to be in conjunction with the Fulton County school system, and Ethos is not one of their schools.
Chief, I just wanted to circle back around. You were saying that we do have an officer who is positioned at the MARTA station. I know this conversation came up several years ago in regards to in what capacity are you all collaborating with MARTA police department in regards to, like, what are they monitoring? Because, I mean, I know the tracks come through the city, but it is MARTA, so I'm just trying to figure out, like, what does that look like, entails in conversation. And in regards, now you did mention that we were with the airport.
Community Improvement
We are
District.
with, East Point is a part of the airport improvement?
Yes, Camp Creek and Virginia Avenue area.
Okay, and then the cameras, like, are you at liberty to tell us how many of the shot cameras do we actually have throughout
So,
the city?
in terms of
I don't
flock,
even know the
we have a
location.
lot of flock cameras, and we have about 250 citywide cameras. But the original question was, are we in conjunction with MARTA? We speak to MARTA all the time about this because they congregate right there at the end of that MARTA station right there, then they cross back and forth. So we've asked them, do not allow them to hang out here. We have made that clear. We've spoken to them multiple times, and if you notice, MARTA's had a couple incidents because of that situation on their trains, on the platforms. So MARTA has their own police, by the way, so just in case anyone doesn't know, MARTA has their own police department. Anything happening on their property, they handle, but we have met with them many times about this situation.
So what's the solution here? Because meeting with them and not them being proactive is kind of like, where do we go from here with this as far as, like, how do we stand our ground with MARTA? Because again, the tracks are coming through our city. So what is?
So, you know, I can't make MARTA do something, and I mean, they've always been good partners, but I can't make them get those people off their platforms. I can't make them stop having people hang out, and we've addressed this. I don't know why they don't just eagerly address it and have a little bit more energy about it, but what we do is they have to be going somewhere. We don't allow them to congregate right there because we speak with the CVS owner all the time, and they always say, please have officers coming here. We don't want the kind of crowd in here. We don't want, you know, that smoke shop is a constant little problem. Also, is that convenience store going back and forth. So that's why we station officer right there just to deal with that situation, because I'm like, if a person's on Main Street, that's the main thoroughfare of the city. Plus, it just doesn't look right, like this gentleman said back here. So that's what we're doing.
I have a question. I'm talking about the speed bumps. Like on Conley and DeLow and Conley is a real nice drive that cars speed up all the time. How do you go about getting speed bumps on your street or in your neighborhood?
So that is with Public Works. However, I will tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you, every community is not gonna have speed bumps. I will be honest with you because
Those speed bumps, they add 10 seconds to a response time. And for a fire truck, we're not as fast as a police vehicle. So each speed bump, we have 750 gallons of water in the truck. So if we have to slow down like that, it's hard to build the speed back up. So nothing against speed bumps, but for every one that you have, it increases response time by 10 seconds.
and I would tell you the best is. So we've actually increased the amount of stop signs, even on Church Street by the police department, because of one of our councilpersons and I was speaking about this. So we've increased the stop signs, but the best solution is we just need to make sure we're in these places and writing citations, because that directly impacts people's wallet. Once it impacts people's wallet, they slow down. That's the best advice, and that's why we continue to put more people in our traffic unit to make sure we have a safer city. Which one you speaking of? You talking about?
Yes, he's talking about the city of Atlanta, though.
Yes, that's not East Point. No, that you talking about the one at the end of Headland Drive? Yes, that's Atlanta. Yes. Let me get this. One of y'all. Oh, I'm good. I got her.
Even though I have a question, but she's.
Okay, I got it. I see her. I know Slaughter Gibbons.
I have a concern about Meadowlark Drive and Boulder. I live on Boulder. When you come out of Boulder, right there, there's a house that has a lot of activities. I don't know what it is.
That was my question. They called it the YSL house.
Boulder
and Meadowlark Drive. When you're coming out of Boulder, the house is facing Boulder, but it's on Meadowlark Drive. There's a lot of activities on that street. Sometimes you can't even get through. Now, I know sometimes people have parties or cookouts or whatever, but this seems to be an ongoing activities all the time. And you can't hardly get through that street.
This was the house that was somehow associated with that whole trial, and at one time, the police was chasing someone.
Okay. I'm sorry. They're speaking about a house specifically on our Meadowlark by Boulder Drive that was associated with a YSL group. So they was asking about that house. So I said, we'll go take a look at it once we leave here, because they're saying they have a lot of activity in terms of people can't get by, a lot of cars on the street and things of that nature. Back up. I'm glad you told me. We'll take care of that.
So what we'll do is, because I know we want to let our city members.
I just have, okay.
So.
We'll go take a look at that. I want to see.
And then I'll come back and I'm going to get a card for you, okay, to fill out, if you don't mind? Thank you.
Chief, have you got enough officers to patrol the city? I don't mean sit in parking lot, but patrol the city.
So actually, we increased our numbers, Jackie Slaughter. We actually increased our numbers.
I didn't hear you.
So we actually, she asked, do we have another police officer? We
to
actually.
patrol the city.
Yes.
Patrol, not sitting
But, yes.
A&P up at the shopping center. I'm sorry. You know, I complain to you about this all the time, especially when one asks me.
So, Slaughter Jackie Givens, I've known her for years. She's a retired police officer.
And I retired from Atlanta, trained new police officer.
Yes.
And that's the reason I'm concerned. I moved to East Point because it was a clean city. You didn't have to deal with riffraff. We live on the street. They just find out we live behind the Dollar General store. All of a sudden, every thug in the city know we back there. Some of the police officers don't even know we back there. And I'm being honest, Chief. I'm not being nasty.
We talk all the time about
this.
this.
I met you in '91 when you came on East Point.
Yes, well, we talk all the time.
But I'm saying, why are they not patrolling the
They
street?
are patrolling. Matter of fact, Jackie Slaughter Gibbons, hold on. We're on 10-hour shifts. So our officers overlap shifts. So for 2 hours, 3 times a day, we have double shifts. And they actually have assignments where they go to make it safer.
Well, they don't come down my street or my neighborhood.
Okay, so I will say this, Jackie Slaughter, because I know you love
All
Atlanta.
my
but
neighborhood,
please
even my
do not have an accident in Atlanta and call the
neighborhood
police, okay?
president. I'm complaining to Butler. I'm complaining to Starr. We don't even see a police officer on our street.
So y'all on Charles Drive, correct? So we've actually got a couple complaints about Charles Drive, so you should see a lot more officers on there
My
lately.
son car don't have got towed off in my parking lot. I opened the door because I saw the light kept coming on, and they took off running.
Did you call the police?
Yeah, I saw them. They better be glad I didn't have my gun because you'd have picked them up there. I'm being honest with you. Because I'm still certified as an Atlanta police officer.
So
But
they
I'm
had
saying,
a house
you
on Charles
patrol,
Drive.
And they wait to get night. Dog, everybody on my street got a camera trying to see who's coming down.
So they had two incidents in your neighborhood. One where a guy was messing with a girl, and the girl came trying to thought he had another girl in the house. That's the latest incident, and she was messing with somebody's driveway because she thought it was his house. She couldn't see. The second incident y'all had a rental house where a knucklehead lived there who was wanted by the police, got into a domestic violence situation, and shot someone. We caught him right then on the spot trying to hide. So we haven't had any more incidents in your neighborhood, but we will make sure that we're definitely driving down that street because, well, we are.
That's what they complain about all the time. Police officers not coming through this area. They don't even know who live on the street.
So you've seen us, correct? Okay.
We've had, my son's car got broken in. I caught him in my backyard one time.
When was this, Ms. Slaughter Gibbons? What year was this?
About a month ago. But like I told you then, just like I told you about what happened down at the low and 166, two officers sitting in the car blocking the traffic, and it was an ambulance on one side, and they sitting in the car, and we couldn't even get up or down. It was backed up all the way on. And I got the picture. I'm going to get you the picture.
I asked you to send it to me already.
And I'm going to get it to you, too.
Okay, I'm still waiting. 3 months ago, still waiting.
Okay.
I love Slaughter.
Thank you, Ms.
I love
Slaughter
her.
Gibbons. So are there any other questions that that residents have? I have cards, but, okay, yes.
Since we're talking on the police.
Yes, fine.
I believe code enforcement is on the police.
Yes, matter of fact, come here, McGee. So if you don't know McGee, he's our new code enforcement supervisor.
Okay, okay. Well,
So please, listen, that's our number one complaint, is code enforcement issues.
well, I need to get his number, because right now I have Councilmember Mitchell on speed dial. So I call him because I can never get any results out of code enforcement.
Give me your cell phone
Because
today.
I'm determined my neighborhood won't become on your 50 worst properties list. So I need code enforcement to be more diligent in patrolling, as they used to
What
do
street you on?
when I moved here 50 years ago. I'm on Pinewood. And, and
Yeah. And before we leave, code enforcement, we have a lot of issues with code enforcement. We've increased the numbers. So a couple of things. First of all, we have Green here. Green is your code enforcement officer. So I'm glad you're saying this because he belongs in your neighborhood. So I want you to see him out there tomorrow because that's the neighborhood. But in terms of the trash, that's not a code enforcement issue anymore. It's sanitation. However, I will make sure, because you've brought that up, that I tell the sanitation. But we can handle that because we work with them closely, so that's not an issue. So, Marie, make sure you're out tomorrow, and McGee, give everyone your cell phone number so they can contact you.
Yes, my phone number, my desk phone number is 404-559-6371. If you got a complaint, we have a complaint number. It's 404-559. It's on the 404-559-6270. That's our complaint line. You can put anything, you can put it in C-click fix, that we'll get it. If anything they're dealing with code enforcement. And my email address is emcgee@eastpoint.org. eastpointcity.org. Been a long day. My cell phone number is 470-433-2876. Um, 470-433-2876. McGee, MCGEE. Email is emcgee@eastpointcity.org. Yes, ma'am.
When do you actually have the street cleaning? Because sometimes you come on Saturday, sometimes you come.
The street cleaning is part of Public Works. The LEAF program is on the back of this, the back of the flyer, and it's going to start November the 3rd, going to March the 6th of next year. So if you got anything that's out there that's need to be picked up as tree branches, leaves, debris, and stuff like that, just call the number that's on the back of the flyer, 404-270-7116, and let them know that you got some tree debris that need to be picked up, and they'll come out and get it.
On the back of this flyer.
The LEAF program. She asked about the bulk pickup. The city don't go around twice a year no more for the bulk pickup. It used to be in March and September. They still give you 2 a year. Just call it in. If you got a bulk pickup, it's the best time to do it now because, hey, we got, 4 months to go? It started over from January the 1st to December the 31st. So it don't start September, the 3rd week of September, then the 3rd week of March. So now you can just call it in and say, I got a bulk pickup there, can y'all come out and get it? And then sanitation will send the truck out there and pick it up. They'll let you know when they set it out there and when they're gonna come and pick it up. If they should pick it up, if you call it in, they'll sure pick it up on your collection day when they come to get your debris and your garbage.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So if there are any other questions, raise your hand and I'll have a card. I know people have been waiting to talk to our city manager, so if there's any questions or anything you guys may have, I'm going to introduce to you Reverend Jones, our city manager. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay, so before we get into the nitty-gritty, I have a little fun stuff before we get into some of the serious stuff. But as you know, we've been really struggling on getting full service in the city manager's office. It's been a while to get a city manager in place. It's been a while to get a deputy city manager in place. And it's been a while to get an assistant city manager in place. All these folks really help organize our city to provide the best service to you. So I'm very happy to announce that we did get a deputy city manager as of, when was it when we hired? August 4th, so almost getting on a month already. No, not quite, almost kind of getting close. All right, still here. So let me introduce Renee Tyler and just give her a real quick hand and let her speak about herself.
Hi, good evening. I'll make it really short. Thank you very much, Mr. City Manager, Councilwoman, Councilman, and all the other council officials that are here. It's really my pleasure. I'm so excited to be here with the City of East Point to serve you guys. I have had the pleasure of serving various municipalities around the country, and I must say, this is one town that has a lot of pride and a lot of history. So for me, that is extremely exciting. My strengths are public works, and utility oversight and such. But I will be working with the city manager in whatever areas that he designates. However, I would like to offer my email because, as you can imagine, we have an extreme amount of inquiries and questions, and I'm diving in and I'm available. If I don't know the answer, I will research the answer and get back to you. So my email is rtyler@eastpointcity.org, rtyler@eastpointcity.org. I do not know my phone number. Sorry, but rtyler, rtyler @eastpointcity.org. But I will answer, I will call you back. If you send me a number and say, call me, I will call you, I promise. So anyway, I look forward to serving. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And starting September 2nd, we'll have our assistant city manager, and his name is Joel Fitzgerald. Really excited to bring him on board. He's a former police chief and been in some very large departments, has a desire to follow his dream to be a city manager, so he has agreed to work underneath me to learn the ropes. But I'm really excited on bringing him because we want to double down on keeping our crime rate going down, and he's definitely going to provide that extra little oomph that we need in the city manager's office to make sure we continue on that. I got a couple of housekeeping items, just some things that I wanted to make sure we captured. September 4th, I know we talked about the blackouts. There's a number of things that staff is looking at in our resiliency program, putting lines underground, but we also are starting to explore looking at strategically placing battery systems around our town, which would basically kick on almost like you have generators that kick on in your houses. These systems would kick on and keep electricity on a little while longer so that we can get repair crews out and potentially keep blackouts shorter and less frequent. So we're exploring those kind of things, but there's going to be a community meeting about blackouts at City Hall on September 4th, so please feel free to come down and participate in that. There's also going to be CPR Saturdays starting off September 13th and November 8th. That's going to be at Fire Station 4, 2222 Ben Hill Road. So also participate in that as well. So probably everybody, unless you not happen to be catching the news or looking at what's going on in City Hall. Oh, yes. September 13th and November 8th. Oh, and then the blackout was September 4th. The blackout conversations was September 4th. Thank you, because I lost that page. So again, unless you haven't been following, you may have not heard about a forensic audit that was released. This audit has been something that I have been kind of consuming my time with over the last week and a half. I'm preparing to walk the council through what our next steps will be in response to that analysis September 8th. But I am prepared to have some basic questions, and certainly if I can't answer them, take those questions down and involve those questions in my presentation to City Council. Councilwoman Starr is going to, she has a number of those reports, hard copies, if you would like a copy of that report. And I can kind of talk about some of the findings in that report.